You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. This is critically important. We saw this impact, Michael, in 2016, how the Russian, those troll farms, how they were able to seed discontent by driving information. The largest Black Lives Matter group on Facebook was actually a Russian troll farm. And so we got to be very careful. This is where trusted sources matter, Michael, when you're getting stuff versus some of the harebrained, nutty stuff people send me all the time. They're like, Roland, you hear about this here? That's a lie. Oh, thank you. I mean, I spend more time shooting down stupid stuff because people are believing any nuts cases out there.
Yeah, I guess I spend probably not as much as you, but I spend a lot of time knocking out these conspiracy theories. And I say, look, spend a minute. You don't have to spend your whole life. Spend a minute reading some of the mainstream newspapers or watch CNN or MSNBC for a few minutes. I'm not asking you to prescribe to the beliefs, but just get some real news somehow. Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered. There's so many opportunities for you to get real news and real information and take advantage of it. Don't just use, I was on my phone and somebody passed this along and said Black people cannot get infected with COVID-19. Remember when that came out a few weeks ago? Absolutely preposterous, incorrect. Frankly, it impacts us more. So please just get some real news from time to time. Take the time and investigate on your own.
Avis, I say you might want to watch us before you watch CNN, MSNBC.
Absolutely, because we're going to really tailor what you hear to those issues that are specific to our needs and to our interests and to our future. And so, it's really, though, important. The larger point here couldn't be any more correct. It's really more important that we don't get thrown off base by misinformation. And the reality is that, there has been a lot of investment into creating confusion and spreading lies and misinformation, specifically for other people to use it for what? Their own ability to gain and maintain power. And so I'm hoping that we will be a bit more discerning in terms of where we get our information from, that we question and don't just assume when we see some graphic on Facebook, for example, or we read some tweet that's not quoting anything or providing a source, but it's making some statement that appears factual, that we slow down and wait a minute and think, what is the source of this information? Is this a credible source? And does it even just make common sense? If we just took those 3 steps, I think we do a lot toward sort of stopping a lot of the spread of this misinformation that happens, specifically targeting our community.
Shireen Mitchell is now here. Shireen, again, we talk about this information being spread. I mean, look, you look at how the Trump people, Shireen, are targeting their folks, how they're using Facebook messaging just with a deluge of messaging. Look, at the end of the day, people respond to this. And we have to understand that there's a flip side to information. Information is power, but also it could turn against you.
Absolutely. When we talk about this from a framework that people don't understand, is like they think that they're not impacted by this sort of this disinformation. They think that somehow disinformation is something separate from them, and they are actually operating from a concept that they have all the information they need, or they think they've gotten some information that the media is not telling them. And so they use that as a weapon. And unfortunately, so many of our community is a part of that disinformation because we have a historical framework of not trusting the government, not trusting media, and it becomes very complicated in the way that we look at this.
And so give us examples of what is happening, what is really taking place out there with disinformation. I mean, look, this is what you study, and you're looking for, you're connecting the dots, and other people are just going, well, Shireen, I don't see what the big deal is this here. And you're kind of like, no, you need to go deeper. As one person said, some folks ain't deeper than mustard on a hot dog.
Exactly.
You're trying to go to the bottom of the hot dog.
Hot dogs. Okay. But the truth is.
Well, look, the average person out there go, mustard on a hot dog. Oh, yeah, that's on top. There you go. You're trying to go deeper.
At the bottom. Or the bread, for that matter. I'm sorry. I was laughing because I thought that was a great analogy. But the key is that what I work on is taking the truth, right? We have some historical truth. We have some historical facts that impact the way that we believe certain things that come to us. And that's part of the problem. So when we get to the top, which is where the hot dog, framework of the ketchup or mustard is, we've gotten way past what the root of it is. And so historically in our culture, we know that we don't trust the government in terms of testing us. We don't trust the government in terms of vaccines for us. But what is different now is we're watching this culture change in a broader context. And there's some overlap here now. So those who don't trust the government are now sort of meshing together for reasons that are unhealthy in the sense in this moment with this particular virus. This virus is killing us more than any other group. And if we participate in the disinformation, then we're also participating in harming our own community more than we think we're saving them. So it's really important for us to understand, and I say this all the time, every single one of us has been impacted by disinformation. To ignore that or to dismiss that or to say that does not have an impact is literally dismissing how we can fix this moving forward. We don't have the tools or the tactics moving forward if we basically say disinformation has no impact whatsoever. It has no impact whatsoever for our elections and voting, and it has no impact whatsoever in the terms of trying to save people's lives in this moment right now. And this is not new. We went through this before during the civil rights movement. We went through this before. And what I feel troubled by is the fact that people are all of a sudden wanting to dismiss this right now. That all of a sudden that they think that somehow with everything that just happened, everything we know from 2016 and all the tactics from 2016 to 2020, that somehow we're still immune from disinformation, as if the first story of us being immune from, as Black people, from the virus. We are not immune from any of this. And we have to take action in the concept of we need to understand that this is part of it. And we also have to do a little bit of extra work to decipher what's real and what's still disinformation. The media isn't helping us either, by the way. So I thank you for having me on, Roland. But what I'm saying is that we're also taking part of this. We're actually taking action on the disinformation. So,
for instance, so explain to people when you're out there monitoring the people who say, this don't happen, I'm not voting. Or how is that weaponized and used against Black people?
Oh, thank you for asking that question. So let's just be clear. We have a historical framework, right, about the vote. We've gone through Jim Crow, right? We've gone through now the Voting Rights Act. We are watching daily the ways in which there are different states trying to manipulate our ability to vote. Gerrymandering, the police state, making sure that we're put in prisons instead of able to vote. All of that is also true. But, right, there's a big fat but to that. If we know those things exist and somehow don't think that the digital vote suppression part doesn't exist, we're participating in the same things that's against us. So when someone says, I'm going to use my vote as a hostage vote until the Dems do what I want or demand, we are allowing the same thing that happened before. Our ancestors, our elders fought and died for our vote. If you think that you can hostage take your vote right now in this moment, you're basically saying to our elders, you died for nothing. And that troubles me. It troubles me on multiple levels. But it troubles me more in the context that if you think showing that we have no power by our vote is better than stealing our vote, which everyone else is trying to do, and we are just going to join that crew, then we have not learned the lessons of our historical framework in this country and what we need to do going forward. And that's the struggle I have about digital voter suppression, because there are people who are participating in digital voter suppression. They're saying to our community, don't vote top of the ticket because they're both the same. Why bother? When I said last time I was on your show, 90K people did not vote top of the ticket in Michigan, and he won by 77K.
Total. He didn't win Michigan by 90,000. So what you're pointing out is that was just in the state alone.
One state alone. It does not count all the other states where the digital vote suppression was happening, where all the actual vote suppression was happening, on the ground vote suppression. What we saw in Wisconsin was on the ground voter suppression using COVID as a weapon to win their own seat. COVID and now is a new version of voter suppression. We have both the on-the-ground version and the digital vote suppression version. So absolutely, Wisconsin had suppressed 1 million votes before the election of 2016. 1 million. I'm talking about a small sliver of how he won versus the 90K that didn't vote top of the ticket. Also, the 75K who didn't get their opportunities to be counted at all. We should not be participating in not getting ourselves to vote. Everybody wants us to not have power. What happened in South Carolina for Biden is that he got a vote that no one thought was important. Sometimes I'm not sure he knows how important that vote was. But every other candidate had weaponized the fact that they did not need the black vote, and then Biden won with exactly that.
And when you say and again, I want to go back. When you talk about that suppression, 90,000 people in Michigan did not vote top of ticket. If you look at the numbers, people, Trump won Michigan by less than 11,000.
Yes.
He got 2,279,543 votes. Hillary Clinton got 2,268,839 votes. And 90,000 left at the top. So final point here, Shireen. For people to understand, first of all, there was a report that y'all have done. Where can people go to see the report, to digest the full report?
Yes, so please, thank you, Roland. So please go to our website, stoponlinevawa.com.
Online.
Vawa, VAW.com.
All right, stoponlinevaw.com to see the full report. And that's also important when our people are sharing certain things. You're participating in digital voter suppression based upon what links you share, what memes you share, what stories you share.
Yes. And we have two reports. Remember this. We did the report before anyone else did this on what was happening in 2016, before the Mueller report, before the state Senate report. In 2018, October 2018, we did the first report on how Black identity was used as a tactic for voter suppression. Our follow-up report, which is the one we're talking about today, was just an expansion of that. Go to the first report and then go to the second report, so you have a full synopsis of how this is being used against us in general.
Shireen Mitchell, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right. Every single night, we've got some of the top Black experts. You're not going to see them on cable news or broadcast news because you swear Black people aren't experts when it comes to this health crisis. That's why we have this show and why we do what we do every day on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Joining us right now is retired General Russell Honore, the nation's first black Surgeon General, Dr. Joycelyn Elders. John Hope Bryant, he's the founder of Operation Hope. Senator Kamala Harris of California, Dr. Sadrina Calder, retired General Lloyd Austin, Congresswoman Karen Bass, Commissioner Omari Hardick, Bureau President in Brooklyn, Eric Adams, Dr. Joseph Graves, America's Wealth Coach, Deborah Owens, Dr. Corey Abear, Patel Salt, Howard University student, Pastor Jamal Bryant, Dr. Christy McDowell, Benja Ajilore, senior economist at the Center for American Progress, Gilda Daniels, again, author of the book, The Crisis of Voter Suppression in America. 4 stars, General Kip Ward. Dr. Oliver Brooks is president of the National Medical Association, president of the American Medical Association, Dr. Patrice Harris. Joby Benjamin, Dr. Alexia Gaffney, infectious disease specialist, Dr. Georges Benjamin, executive director of the American Public Health Association, Malcolm Nance, family medicine physician, Dr. Jen Caudle, Dr. Tashaka Cunningham, a molecular biologist, Kat Stafford. She's a national race and ethnicity reporter for the Associated Press. Dr. Wayne A.I. Frederick, who is the president of Howard University, Congresswoman Yvette Clarke from the state of New York, William Spriggs, AFL-CIO economist, Andrea James, executive director of the National Council for Incarcerated and Formerly Incarcerated Women and Girls. All right, let's go to Capitol Hill. Congressman Gregory Meeks, Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson of Texas, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, mental health clinician Jamie Singletary, Prince George's County State's Attorney Aisha Brayboy, as well as Dylan HAYRE, ACLU Justice Division strategist. Dr. Cindy Duke, she's a virologist. Principal Steve Perry of Capitol Prep. Health and wellness specialist Dr. Yolandra Hancock. Desmond Meade, president of the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. Cliff Albright, who is the co-founder of Black Voters Matter. Michael Harriet with The Root. The Mina McWhorter, founder of Love by the Hand. Dr. Julianne Malvo, economist, president, Emerita Bennett College. Coroner Michael Fowler is the mayor of Atlanta. KEISHA Lance Bottoms, mental health therapist Suzette Clark. Justin Giboney, attorney and political strategist, and Bishop Vincent Matthews Jr. Dr. Suzette McKinney, CEO and executive director of the Illinois Medical District. Dr. Leon McDougall, president-elect of the National Medical Association. Jana Bailey, mayor of Moss Point, Mississippi, Mario King. We're going to keep driving this thing to make sure our people are fully aware, safe, protected from coronavirus. You get the top medical experts, top business experts, top political experts, top religious experts, because that's why we do what we do. Unapologetically and unfiltered. Ain't nobody else in the black media space doing what we do. Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.